The battlefield was silent for the first time in hours. Smoke drifted slowly across the broken plains of Kepler 442c, carrying the bitter scent of burned metal and alien fuel. Pieces of shattered ships and fallen war machines littered the ground like the bones of a dead giant. I tightened my grip on my rifle and scanned the horizon. "Command, this is Sergeant Daniel Carter," I said into the cracked communicator on my shoulder. "Sector E is clear, but I'm not seeing any friendly signals." Static answered me. The war between humanity and the Xylar Empire had been raging for months, and this planet was supposed to be our final stand. Our fleet had managed to cripple the alien armada in orbit, but the ground fighting had been brutal. Now the battlefield felt like a graveyard. I moved carefully through the wreckage, stepping over twisted metal and the dark shapes of fallen soldiers, human and alien alike. That's when I heard it. A faint sound, not mechanical, not the whine of damaged machinery. A voice, a weak groan. I froze. My instincts screamed that it could be a trap. The Xylar were known for their deceptive tactics. But the sound came again. Someone was alive. I followed the noise behind a collapsed transport craft. The hull had been torn open by plasma fire, its interior glowing faintly with dying sparks. Inside, lying against the wall, was an alien soldier. She was tall, taller than most humans, with silver-blue skin and long dark hair tangled with dirt and ash. Her armor was sleek and black, etched with strange glowing symbols that pulsed faintly in the dim light. Blood, dark and shimmering, covered her side. She was badly wounded. Her eyes opened the moment I stepped closer. Bright violet eyes. For a second, we simply stared at each other. Human. Alien. Enemies. I slowly raised my rifle. Her hand twitched toward a weapon lying beside her. Then she winced, pain flashing across her face. I hesitated. Something about the way she looked. She didn't seem like the monsters propaganda had described. She looked tired and scared. "You human," she said weakly. Her voice carried a strange musical accent. "Yeah," I muttered. "And your Xylar." Her breathing grew shallow. "If you're going to kill me, do it quickly." I lowered the rifle. "I'm not here to execute wounded soldiers." Her eyes widened slightly. "You would spare an enemy?" I shrugged and knelt beside her. War's already ugly enough. I opened my field medical kit and examined the wound. A jagged piece of shrapnel had pierced her armor and lodged deep in her side. If I didn't remove it soon, she'd bleed out. "You're lucky," I said. "Another few minutes and you'd be dead." "Why are you helping me?" "Because you're dying." "That should please you." "Not really." I carefully cut away the damaged section of armor. She hissed in pain. "Easy," I said. "I've got you." Her skin felt strangely warm beneath my hands. For a moment she studied my face, as if trying to understand something impossible. "You humans are strange." "Yeah," I said. "We hear that a lot." I injected a pain suppressant from my kit and gripped the piece of shrapnel. "This is going to hurt." "I am a soldier," she said quietly. "I can endure." I pulled the metal free. She gasped but didn't scream. Dark alien blood spilled across the floor. I quickly sealed the wound with a medical patch. After a few tense seconds, the bleeding slowed. Her breathing steadied. "There," I said. "You'll live." She leaned her head back against the wall. For a moment, neither of us spoke. Outside, distant thunder rumbled across the battlefield. "You should leave," she said eventually. "Why?" "Because when my people find you, they will kill you." Same could be said about humans finding you. She gave a faint smile. "Perhaps." I sat beside her anyway. "You're not exactly in condition to move." You risk much staying here. I've risked worse. Her eyes studied me again. You saved my life. That's what medics are supposed to do. You are not a medic. True. Another long silence passed. Then she spoke again. My name is Liara. Daniel. Daniel, she repeated softly, as if tasting the sound. Suddenly the ground shook. A deep mechanical roar echoed across the battlefield. Dropships. Xylar dropships. Liara's eyes widened. They have returned. I cursed under my breath. If those ships belonged to her army, they'd shoot me on sight. But if they found her with me, I wasn't sure what would happen. Liara slowly pushed herself to her feet. She staggered slightly. Hey, I said, reaching out to steady her. Careful. She didn't pull away. Instead, she leaned on me for support. You should run, she said quietly, and leave you. You owe me nothing. I looked at the wound I'd just sealed. Not my style. The dropships landed nearby with thunderous force. Within seconds, armored alien soldiers poured onto the battlefield. Their weapons scanned the wreckage. One of them spotted us. He shouted something in the Xylar language. In an instant, half a dozen soldiers surrounded us. Plasma rifles aimed directly at my chest. Well, this was it. The lead soldier stepped forward. His armor was far more ornate than the others. Human, he growled. I slowly raised my hands. Easy. Nobody needs to get hurt. The soldier ignored me. Instead, his gaze shifted to Liara. The moment he saw her face, he froze. Every soldier around him suddenly dropped to one knee. Weapons lowered. Their helmets tilted downward in respect. I blinked. What? The lead soldier spoke, his voice trembling. Your Majesty, we believed you lost. Your Majesty? I turned to Liara. She looked uncomfortable. Rise, she commanded quietly. The soldiers obeyed immediately. The lead officer glanced at me. Who? Is this human? Before I could answer, Liara spoke. He is the one who saved my life. Every alien soldier stared at me as if I had just grown a second head. The officer's voice turned cautious. You treated the Queen's wounds? Queen. My brain struggled to process the word. I looked back at Liara. You're kidding. She met my gaze calmly. No. I blinked again. You're the Queen? Yes. I ran a hand through my hair. So let me get this straight. You're telling me I just patched up the ruler of the entire alien empire we're at war with? That would be correct. Well, I muttered, that's one way to complicate my day. The soldiers exchanged uneasy glances. The officer finally asked, Your Majesty, what should be done with the human? Every rifle slowly lifted again. I sighed. Figures. Liara stepped forward. No weapon will be raised against him. The soldiers froze instantly. But, Your Majesty, the officer said carefully, he is our enemy. He is my savior. Silence fell across the battlefield. Liara turned toward me. You had every reason to let me die. Yeah, I said. But that didn't feel right. She studied me with those glowing violet eyes. In all my years, no enemy has ever shown me mercy. Well, I said awkwardly, first time for everything. She turned back to her soldiers. This human will not be harmed. The officer bowed his head. As you command. Then Liara faced me again. You should return to your people. Probably a good idea. But something in her expression made me pause. You know, I said slowly, this war doesn't have to keep going. Her eyes flickered with curiosity. You believe peace is possible? I believe someone has to try. She looked across the ruined battlefield. Thousands had died here, human and alien alike. Perhaps, she said quietly. Then she extended her hand. Daniel Carter, would you walk with me? I hesitated only a second before taking it. Her soldiers watched in stunned silence as the human and the alien queen stood side by side in the middle of the battlefield. Two enemies. Two survivors. And maybe, just maybe, the beginning of something the galaxy had never seen before.
Peace.